And record. Is Christy coming back today?
We need some more vagina talk. That was
Wow.
really exceptional. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely. We blew up the internet.
You know, you tell me dialogue about a vagina isn't going to blow up the internet.
It was crazy. So that was episode 41 if you're keeping score at home.
Yes. And we do need to have Christy back because there was a lot of things we didn't even really get to dig into because we got distracted by the pelvic floor physical therapy.
We just scratched the surface.
Yes, we have. Well, you know what? I love stuff like that. And I love being able to have an open, honest dialogue without making jokes about it. Because, you know, these are things that I wish we were taught in school. I wish there was a healthy way to learn this as we're growing, as we're dating. These are real life things that really don't get discussed.
That episode was 5 times more popular than our average episode.
Wow. Well, Christy's amazing.
He has 5 viewers.
Yeah, I adore her. We definitely have to do it again. And I think it's important that viewers continue to let us know what they want to hear. Absolutely. Because you and I could talk about anything. I can't think of a subject that we wouldn't discuss.
We couldn't drive right into the ground. My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey.
And you're unpacking some shit. Thanks for joining us. I'm in Tarpon Springs. My good friend is in Brooklyn. We've been friends for 15 years plus.
Yeah, at least.
And then we decided to do this. We did a radio show a while back.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was like 10 years ago, wasn't it? 8 years ago?
Can you believe it? I know. I loved the radio show. We did a show called What a Show that was super fun in Clearwater. And then I moved and we talked about doing it remote. And as things happen in real life, you know, you get involved in life and you don't follow through. And Tom and I still have other jobs we do. So I'm so happy that we're doing this now.
Yeah, it's nice that the technology allows it to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
so I'm curious about your topics today. Today's Friday.
Well, we've got too much power, 5 stars, 1 star, where's the truth?
Oh.
Can't complain, and Rocket Man. That's how we start the show. We start the show, I give a list of topics, Melinda gets a list of topics, and then we might even have a guest pop in for a game or two.
Right. And I love that I never know what your topics mean. They always mean something totally. When you say Rocket Man, I mean, I first thought of Elton John because it's an Elton John song, but then I thought, no, you know what? Knowing Tom, it's probably about some kind of technology. I feel like you're very interested in like space technology and stuff.
Well, those types of titles used to almost got me fired from home shopping. I was the boss for a little bit.
Yes.
And I'd have, once a week, we corralled everybody to come in, 22 people in a conference room, all hosts, and we're going to go over some things going on this week. And I wanted to have an agenda, pass it out. And I thought I respected everybody's time. I said, we're not going to sit here and just listen to me yammer on for whatever.
Right.
But I also want you to know we got 12 points we're going to hit today, 6 points, and we're going to go as fast as we can get through them. We're going to get through them. But I didn't want folks to read ahead. So I had, kind of a cryptic ways to get into that particular topic.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'd have topics, or sometimes I'd have clues that had maybe a little bit of a sexual innuendo. And that was where I was getting into. People were writing this down, and they were archiving these memos. Well, he said it's too big. What does that mean? What is he saying about that? Or mind if I put it in you? Or whatever whatever the clue was to prompt the particular non-sexual topic we were talking about.
Right.
I was in over my head for HR. I was probably I got hired there when I was 28, and I was probably 31 when I was in charge of the hosts.
Yeah, that's very young for a job like that. That's very young. Well, here are my topics. The first one is explain it. The second one is so this happened. The old topic I haven't spoken of yet, wearing pants. I keep talking about that. Then I also have, this is extra, but you can pick whatever you want. The meaning of life, Burning Man, and behind the scenes, and good cop, bad cop. And also, I wanted to put in a real quick thing. I just learned that Cuomo, our governor here in New York, is single, and he says he's having a hard time dating, and I'm wondering if I should help him out.
Wouldn't that be nice? You could drive like crazy all over the state. You'd never get a ticket.
I think he lives in Albany, though, which is a bit far from me. But when I read that, isn't that funny? My first thought was, well, should I try to date?
How long has he been single?
I didn't look into that. So what I did was what every woman would do is I looked up his last girlfriend to see if I could compete. Because he's divorced and he had a
Oh,
girlfriend and him and his
right.
girlfriend broke up.
And what's the
And
answer?
I thought, oh, in the real world, probably not. But in my head, yes. In my head, yes, I can. I mean, I think I'm probably older than what he wants to date. But, his last girlfriend was lovely and a blonde. And I'm not young or blonde. But that doesn't stop my lady brain from thinking I can do it.
He rejected that young blonde.
Right? So now I'm trying to think if the audience can think of a clever way that I can introduce myself to Cuomo so we can go to dinner.
Well, I'll hashtag Cuomo on this podcast.
Okay, let's do that and see, because certainly he would love some rando 59-year-old woman who does a podcast and talk about vaginas.
Why not? You know what? If the closer we get to the finish line, the more you realize, let's talk about everything and anything, and things that you don't want to, or people that don't want to talk about anything and everything. Maybe I don't want to spend so much time with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in an honest way, in a way that you can actually have a difference of opinion and it's okay.
What were we talking about right before the show started? And I said, save it for the show.
Well, you nixed my story about taking 8 greens because you said you don't believe in it.
Oh, well, that's an interesting thing, because I said I hadn't been eating salads in a while since I've been out of my routine. I used to play basketball on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and my buddy and I would go to Sweet Tomatoes and have huge salads at least twice a week. At least as a bachelor, I was getting 2 good meals in a week. And you suggested taking some sort of pills you saw in a space show.
Again, all that information is wrong. It's a tablet that dissolves into your drink.
It's freeze dried or something?
No.
Is it Tang? Is it Tang? Is the answer Tang?
I wish I had one here. Okay, so it's called 8 Greens, and I discovered it when I was doing shows at QVC. There was a woman who, when she was 25 years old, she was diagnosed with like stage 3 cancer, and they said, there's nothing we can do for you. So being a young woman, and I believe she was a scientist, she decided, and I know this sounds like every fake whatever, but she was at QVC, which I have to say adds some legitimacy, because as well as I do, HSN and QVC do their research. They're very careful with ethics and laws about what they can and can't talk about and promote. And so
it's funny. May I jump in?
Yeah.
When I see somebody saying something on TV saying, and this cures blah, cures your ulcers, I always, in my mind, I always mentally correct it like may help cure, because so many meetings with the legal department at HSN, it may help this situation, it may help that. It doesn't. Nobody's curing anything with whatever, but yet even on TV they'll say these things, something cures something. I go, well, it may help. Go ahead. I apologize.
Different results. We all have different results.
So
here's
I apologize. I felt the need to interrupt for no reason. I was stupid.
No, it's totally fine. So, the bummer with the Zoom is you can't talk at the same time. It only lets one person at a time talk. And I'd much rather prefer when we did our radio show that we could talk over each other, because it's actually hilarious. But basically the reason I tried it is because I appreciated this woman's story and the fact that she was going to die. It was a terrible diagnosis, and she found her way, which was we're not getting all the right nutrients in our body. And of course, we're eating foods with preservatives and things our body are not meant to digest. And so I know for me, part of it is psychological, but I started taking these a couple of years ago. It's a like a tab you put in your water or your tea or something, so it dissolves. And so there's different recipes that you just drink it, right? And for me, psychologically, knowing that I'm getting the greens that I need to get, because I know I'm not going to sit down and eat a bunch of spinach and carrots and, I'm not going to do that. So I really promoted this product with friends during the pandemic when we were talking about our immune system, because that's what this is made for, is your immune system. So I suggest just look up 8 Greens. I have no stock in the company, and see what you think about it.
Oh, you don't have $300,000 in the company and you're promoting it on a podcast?
I just want to make sure people know that I have no ulterior motives to promote this product other than I have found it has helped me. And it's one of those things I want to share with my friends, because I do think that it helps and makes a difference. I
mean, are you not skeptical of the science? I mean,
Nope.
Frankie Avalon used to sell a pill like this on Home Shopping many, many years ago. And they're saying, well, they take this pill's got 7 carrots and 6 beets in it and a head of lettuce. I'm like, really? What aren't we missing some elements of those vegetables that we need? Like, is there fiber
Well,
there?
I would say Frankie Avalon is selling it based on his name because he's Frankie Avalon. I mean, that's part of it. Celebrities do that. This woman, not a celebrity. I really enjoyed her on QVC. Her story. Her name is Dawn Russell. Look it up. I
Look it
suggest
up.
you look it up. Look, do your research.
And you know what? Educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
No, but I'm saying, are you skeptical about the science? Or they stick these things all in an evaporator, then stick it? How do they get the essence out of it? Where's the bulk go? Is the bulk not worth anything?
I don't question it because I'm always going to believe that when it has gone to this level, and
yes,
yeah.
I mean, I sound like an old grandpa. I don't believe it.
Well, I just think if it's
I
gotten
want
this
something
far,
to plug in. I want to follow the chain and make it start.
the fact that it did, she recovered, and of course she did other things like stop, taking,
Of
the
course.
food with the preservatives. But for me personally, I'm all for things that are gonna help your life, and Tom, I'm a big proponent of acupuncture and holistic healing. I'm not a big pusher of go to the doctor and take meds.
I'm the
I'm not,
same
I
way.
never have been.
Yeah.
So for me, this was a great way to get in the greens without worrying about eating enough vegetables during the day.
I should investigate it because I'm skeptical, but it would be a fabulous way to get those types of minerals and vitamins and the greens. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to know your take on it, quite
Because
honestly.
I've held those jars in my hand and I probably have taken those pills. I'm saying, really, I don't think it. Anyway.
But remember, it's a tab that you put it in a liquid, so you drink it, right? 8
I
greens. I have no reason to promote it other than it has helped me
I
psychologically, and I'm healthy. I've been healthy.
right.
I'm
Oh,
9 years old. I don't take any kind of medicine, or you know what I mean. Like, I'm
yeah.
all about that stuff.
No, I like the idea that it dissolves. This is the first time I've heard of this. Most of them are hard tablets, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that.
yeah, yeah.
I like, granular or a gel.
Yes, because it needs to process better, right? It needs to get into your system, and that's why I appreciate this one. So,
I wrote for the first time ever Amazon reviews on products that I purchased.
oh, what did you write about?
Well, this problem with the pool cleaner. I bought a pool cleaner and they just don't last long at all. I got a
Yeah,
huge ass pool in the back. And
yeah,
I said to myself, well, you're going to have to buy another one. Even though you're trying to sell the house, you can't sell it with a pool that's in that shape. And the pool cleaner I had wasn't working.
okay,
So I buy one for $500.
yes,
I put it in the thing and it freaking comes alive. It's running around the bottom of the pool, scrubbing up and down. I'm
okay,
saying, I've seen it because I sold the original pool cleaners from Roomba on
yes,
HSN, 8 years ago.
sure,
And those things would last a half of a season before they'd go south.
sure.
And anyway, I went through a lot of them and I could always see there's flawed. It's too complicated. This thing's nothing but a motor, couple of wheels, and 2
Yeah,
baskets. It's like, oh,
okay.
now they've simplified it. It does not have to be fancy. So I wrote a really nice review. I said, you could stop looking. Here it is.
Oh, see, that is helpful. I do appreciate reviews on products. I don't write them often enough, but I do appreciate the reviews.
And then I wrote one on my vitamins that I take.
Okay.
Because 8 kids in the family, everybody wears glasses for either nearsightedness or farsightedness, and I wear neither. And I've been taking my vitamins for many, many, many years. And about a year ago or so, I was missing them, wasn't taking them, didn't reorder them. And about 3 months into it, I go, oh, my night vision's getting shit. I
Really?
like, oh, get back on the vitamins, my friend.
I want to know about those. They're called vitamins for
Well,
your eyes.
they're called Bausch and Lomb calls them vitamins. I'll give you the brand on this thing, but I use like an off brand that I found at Amazon. As a matter of fact, Costco had it years ago. They don't run it anymore because Bausch and Lomb has kicked this guy off the shelf over at
Yeah.
Costco. And you know how
Yeah.
much I love you know what
Yeah.
Costco. So
Costco.
I located those same vitamins. It's got lutein and xanthan in it, but the amount of those 2 ingredients supersedes the amount in the Bausch and Lomb, which is about 3 times as expensive.
Right. Of course.
So there
Yeah.
you have it.
I feel like
Anyway,
we
I
should
think
all,
I think it makes a difference.
We should call this section nursing home talk. These are the things I imagine you and I will discuss in the nursing home.
I think, yeah. In addition to the quality of the meat being served for lunch and dinner. I'm having dinner at 4:00 because I had.
Someone stole my pudding. I want my pudding. Look at Matt has a real life background. Typically, Matt has the photos and stuff. Are you at home today, Matthew?
I am at my home office, featuring my my lamp with all my good ideas in it behind me.
Is that your Indy 500 lamp?
It is an Indy 5. No, it's
trick lamp.
It's a lady on Shop HQ. I'm trying to think of her name. She's a really good designer, though. We really like her.
Cool. It's very cool.
How are you, Miss McKinsey?
Good. I'm worried about what kind of number bullshit you have for me because you know it's not my wheelhouse.
It's Friday. Let me introduce Matt Davis. He's the occasional guest here, and he usually has some sort of movie trivia.
Yes.
And Melinda, this stresses her out to the nth degree.
Oh, I'm not stressed. I just know that I'm not good at it.
Stop lying.
Please do Annie Hall. Please do Annie Hall.
All right, Mr. Davis, you've got 5 minutes, sir.
I like that hat. That hat, it looks great on you. Did you get a free bowl of soup with that hat?
Wow.
Oh, that's an old joke. Sorry.
I brought hats today because I wanted to talk about the different hats we wear in life.
Yeah, I like that hat.
I like that.
It's good, right?
I'll tell you what, I had an entire question written down here that involved box offices and numbers, and I don't want to do that one.
Yay!
We're doing something different. We're doing something different this time. We're doing something different. We're doing math problems. Okay, what is 1/3? No, I'm just kidding.
Go on.
We're talking about some of the greatest movies of all time and the Academy Awards. So, did you know that in the history of the Academy Awards, there are only 3 movies in history that have won what they call the Big Five in 1 year?
Why is your camera moving so much?
I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. So I won't do that anymore.
Settle down there.
The Big Five. Well, I'm usually at the table. So I'll put this here.
Are you balancing the camera on your feet?
I'm sorry. Earthquake. It's an earthquake. In the Oscars, they call it the Big Five. That is Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Actress.
Wow.
In the same movie.
Wow.
There's only been 3 movies in history.
Wow. No kidding. That's a huge.
I thought it was really fascinating. I saw this fact and I was like, I'm certain I couldn't name, if someone said name one of them, it would be hard to do, but there are only 3. Okay. I'm going to take one of them and throw it out there and just give it to you guys because it's impossible. It's 1934, a movie called It Happened One Night. It was Clark Gable, Claudette Colbert, both won for actor and actress. Director was Frank Capra, and of course they won for movie and for screenplay.
Wow.
So It Happened One Night was one of those movies. I have to see that again. I think I've seen it once. Did you say you've seen it, Melinda?
I need to rewatch it, but yes.
Yeah, I would like to see that
I don't know that I've done it. I don't know that I've seen that.
Have to watch it.
Love Frank Capra. What's another Frank Capra movie, Melinda?
I don't know.
Davis?
I should know this, but I don't.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Go ahead, wise man.
Of course.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life, of course.
Okay, so
you're the only one of us old enough to remember that one. But so I'm going to give you 3 movies, and one of them is not the winner of the Big Five. Okay, I'm going to name 3 great movies.
I like this question.
Okay, so remember the Big Five: actor, actress, picture, director, screenplay. So one of these following movies did not win.
So you got to pick up the one that did not win.
Did not win the Big Five. Wow. Okay. Okay. Number 1 is 1991 Silence of the Lambs. Okay. Now I will let you know that Jonathan Demme was the director, Jodie Foster, of course, and Anthony Hopkins. So that's your lead actor and lead actress. Okay. So number 1 is Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Number 2 is Forrest Gump with director Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and I didn't write down the name of the actress.
Robin Wright?
Robin Wright. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to write that one.
What else was she in?
I'm sorry?
What other movie was she in?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. That's right. I love that movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies. And number 3. Okay, so Silence of the Lambs, Forrest Gump, and number 3 is 1975's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson, Louise Fletcher. Remember Louise Fletcher? I don't know that she really did that much else.
Oh, yeah.
She's done a few. And Milos Forman was the name of the director, who also directed. I have no idea.
Milos. Oh, he's done.
But anyway, so which one did not win the Big Five? Okay.
Wow.
Silence of the Lambs, Forrest Gump, or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Melinda, you want to break it down first, or? Oh, go. You can make your next. You pick first, and I'll pick.
Yes, I do everything emotionally based. It's not logic based or even based on my actual knowledge. So I thought it would be easier to figure out which one wasn't based on the actors and actresses, because I figured I would know who had and who hadn't won the awards. So now I'm concerned. So the choice of which one didn't win is between One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Forrest Gump, and
Silence of the Lambs.
Shit. Okay. Which one didn't? I feel like all of those people are Academy Award winners.
Well, they all 3 movies won a lot of Academy Awards. Definitely. I mean, that goes without saying.
Well, fantastic movies. If anyone hasn't seen any of these, they should watch them. I'm going to say, based on my limited knowledge and my gut feeling, the one that didn't is Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
I have no logic to back it up and nothing interesting to say.
Welcome to our show.
You always have.
All right.
I want to quickly interject that your last show you guys had with the lady with the herbs and things, that was the best show so far.
Yeah.
Best show so far.
Yeah, that was great. Christy's
It was.
That
All
one
right,
won 5 Academy Awards.
First of all, let me
podcast.
give Melinda the bad news.
Oh no, what?
Jodie Foster. I think she won the Academy for that. And Hector, or what was it? Hannibal Lecter. That's probably the best actor there.
Hannibal Hector.
So what was the other one? It was
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Silence of the Lambs, or Forrest Gump.
Okay. Here's my thinking. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was huge, and I do believe that Jack Nicholson won, and I could see Louise Fletcher winning as well. Here's the only thought is I'm going to say Forrest Gump, because I don't think that the Robin Wright character was in the movie enough to win Best Actress. She was more of a supporting actress. And if you think about it, I think Sally Field might have been nominated as Best Actress in that movie rather than Robin Wright. That's my final answer.
Okay.
Well, you're both correct that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest did win with Jack Nicholson,
Okay.
Louise Fletcher, and Milos Forman. And obviously picture and screenplay also won. So One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was in that group. The other one, the last member of that movie that won 5, those big 5, was 1991 Silence of the Lambs with Jonathan Demme, Jodie Foster, and Anthony Hopkins. The one that did not was Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis, and Robin Wright. The interesting part is that Forrest Gump actually won 6 Academy Awards, but it wasn't the big 5. It won for picture, actor, director, writing, editing. Remember all the editing that they did with the historical videos, and for special effects. So it won actually more Academy Awards than those other movies, but it didn't win, quote unquote, the big 5.
Plus, Melinda, Matt didn't know the female's name.
I knew
that was a tell.
That was a
I
tell.
thought it was a trick. I thought it was a trick. I'm always being manipulated.
Would I do that to you? Nope. Nope, I would not.
Patrick does. That's what Patrick does. So now I put on my nope, not today, Satan hat. Not today, Satan.
I love that hat.
He looks cute at every hat. One hat
She
is
did.
cuter
I
than
have the
than
hat.
Hats.
I look.
Hats are so great. I bought this hat during a music festival. Tell me this is not the greatest hat in the whole
my
damn world.
God. You look
It's
like,
this hat, this punk.
Steampunk.
that's
you.
really cool.
Is that a
I
great
gotta say.
You know, that looks great on you. I've seen it in in different arenas, and usually the people wearing it,
Not so much.
not so much. That looks
Yeah.
very cute on you.
Some people look great in hats, and I can't wear a
Yeah,
hat.
I'm not a hat guy.
I got no hat, no hat head. I
love
have hat head, but no head for
I
hat.
learned to love them moving to New York because it's cold here most of the time, and so you just have to adjust. I wasn't a hat girl because I have a ginormous face and head. I'm just acclimated to it.
No, that hat looks good. All those hat looks.
I love this hat. Yes.
I can pull off a baseball cap once in a while. That's about it.
Yeah. So Matt did the double reverse psychology, and he tricked himself by not saying Robin right. And I thought it was a reverse double psychology by not saying it, so I wouldn't say.
Hey, can I give a plug for something? Am I allowed to give a plug? No? Okay. There's an artist that we follow online. Her name is Gail Prusky. You should check her out on Facebook. She just come out with a new book.
Yeah.
She's a really great artist.
I love it.
And yeah, check this out if you have a moment. Check out The Art of Gail Prusky.
How did you find this
Amazon.
artist?
I don't get any money from it.
Nobody gets any money from anything around here, apparently.
She's Canadian, and she's just a brilliant, brilliant artist. So I just wanted to mention
I love
that.
it. I love recommendations.
I love art. So
Me too.
thank you for playing. Next time I'll go back to the mathematical stuff.
Very good.
No, do
where's our
something for
plot?
feelings so I can win one. Do something about feelings.
I'll do how does this movie make you feel, and there are no wrong answers. How's that? That's the right way to do it. Okay, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, Matt.
Have a good
later.
show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there you go. You're betting 1,000.
You were right. I noticed that little stumble about Robin Wright, and I thought, nope, that's too obvious. So how about that?
See, I know Davis is lazy, so he couldn't think that too many points ahead. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay.
So that takes a lot of preparation to come up with those questions. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Let's talk about one of your. There was one you brought up, and I was like, I really am dying to know. Is it how does this end, or what did you say?
Well, we talked about that last week, or before Christy came on Monday.
What was the first thing that you mentioned in your topics? Too much power.
5 stars, 1 stars. Where's the truth? Can't complain. Rocket Man. Oh, by the way, I'm working on a special guest. I want to introduce improv to our show.
Yeah.
And I had lunch with Daryl yesterday, king of the improv in Tampa Bay. And Daryl agreed to be a guest on our show. So that'd be fun.
That would be great. Daryl was on our What A Show as well.
That's right. One of the few guests we had on What A Show. Sat right here.
That's right. Yes, he did. That would be fantastic. I love that.
Daryl's been replaced by Flowers.
That's right. Thank you, Flowers. Okay, so I want to talk about your first subject.
Too much power. It's an interesting dynamic that's happening. See, and I'm aware of it because I'm a vendor. You know, I play ball. I supply products to Amazon, supply products to HSN, and I've noticed it. And what it is does the consumer have too much power now?
Oh.
The consumer threatens to give you a bad review, or the consumer decides they'd like to steal your product, so they order it, they declare it not what they ordered, and they would like a full refund, please. Is sooner the better.
Okay.
And you're also seeing this at virtually every department store. I mean, home shopping, you could return something a year later and get a credit for it. Same thing with Lowe's. You walk in with something you've been using for 2 weeks, just drop it on the desk and say, nah, don't need it. It's not working right. It's not what I expected. And they'll give you a full refund.
Well, so what's the answer? If you feel like the consumer has too much power, because that's definitely true. If you have a consumer that's angry, they could definitely put a ding into your business by a bad review because reviews have a lot of power.
Well, I'm saying, but Lowe's doesn't give a crap, and HSN doesn't care, and Amazon has zero cares. They're much more concerned about keeping and cultivating that consumer than protecting the vendor at any cost.
That's
And once a consumer realizes this, you open yourself up for all sorts of troubles and abuse. I mean, it's like this: like the law is, if you steal $900, it's a felony. Anything under $900 isn't a felony. So guess
that's
what? You go into a store, and then you find out that cops aren't going to chase you if you're driving, 83 miles an hour. So I'm not saying, clearly you got to have rules,
yeah.
but if you're a criminal, you go steal $800 and drive, 75 miles an hour or 83
Right.
miles an hour, 95. So you know they're not going to chase you. So it's just interesting when rules are set up and there's abuse involved. And I don't know what the answer is.
Well, I guess one of my issues with both QVC and HSN, because we work at both those places, is that a review can go up before it gets reviewed. So anybody can say anything they want, and then you have to fight to have it taken down. And I have had vendors that have suffered because a competing vendor didn't like their product and they wrote a bad review. And by the time they fixed it, it was too late. You've already lost your audience.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem.
Well, I even say if I was QVC, HSN, Lowe's, or whatever, that's the attitude I'd take. I might that consumer is much more valuable it is because, you're not going anywhere. The vendor is not going anywhere unless he just absolutely can't make any money on the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he knows that this guy's Pat, but this guy over here, he can go anywhere he wants to do
Right.
transact business. So
Yeah.
I would like to have published, rules of engagement on Amazon. If you return 3 things within 6 months, you could lose your account. Lowe's, if you return something within this,
Sure.
you can't return something 6 months after you buy it and then get a full refund.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's a great idea. But again, the bigger corporations don't really care about that. They're not going to take the manpower to do that research. It's the smaller businesses that really need that. That's a really good point. You and I have talked about HSN before, how the vendor works so hard to bring the product in. And we both worked with companies where maybe you had a bad host or it was given a bad time. I had a product that it's one and done, was a 4 a.m. show. Now, I think we both know 4 a.m. shows are not the greatest hour. And it's heartbreaking to see that because you can work your hardest, but if you get a host that doesn't care at 4 a.m. and you're not going to have a large audience at 4 a.m. What do you do?
A little back on Melinda and I do on-air guesting for HSN
Yeah.
and QVC. So we've been doing that for a long time. But you're right, a 4 a.m. show is not a fair way to evaluate a product because who knows what was on before that? 2 hours of fashions, 1 hour of a computer, and you're selling some sort of garden widget. Well, that audience is long gone.
Yeah. And another thing about television sales, which I do love, I've enjoyed it immensely. If your product comes on after a very popular product, sometimes people think that's a good thing. It's not always a good thing because people have spent their money, and while you're on air talking, they're still on the phones, they're still ordering. So even though vendors think, oh, I really want to go on after XYZ, it's not always great. So online sales, when people watch it, I know they think it's easy and fun and everything. There's a lot that goes into making these products work and giving all the information that you can to the right kind of audience to make people want it.
Absolutely.
Because people have to be paying attention, and then once they're there, they can decide. And what did the study show? Like they decide in something like 8 seconds or something if they even want to continue watching you. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like picking up a girl at a bar.
Yeah, kind of is like
Got a small window to get your pitch in. Well, I want to do the one. Christy wanted to do the one about Burning Man.
Yeah. So, I'm home more. I'm working from home, and I'm not used to being. And never in my entire life have I been home this much. And so, of course, like most people, I'm watching streaming a lot more, and I'm trying to be wise about what I watch. I found myself watching a lot of American Horror Show and Unsolved Mysteries, and a lot of murder and death. And it was really getting to me. Although women, we find it fascinating, and I think it's because we always feel like we're trying to survive out. We could be killed at any moment. We're always trying to survive. So we watch shows for tips. So I thought I need to watch something really different to get my mindset in a different way. I've always wanted to go to Burning Man, but I've never been brave enough to go.
You are not going, young lady. You're
It's
not going to
expensive.
Burning Man.
And it's scary because for anybody who hasn't heard of Burning Man, I feel like at this point in our lives, people have. It's basically a week-long
An orgy.
It's a week-long art festival out in the desert where you have to bring your everything. Like they don't supply you with anything, and there's a lot of dust and dirt. So taking showers is an weird thing. So I have always wanted to go because I love the idea of the freedom of people really expressing themselves in an open format. So if you want to be naked, you can.
So far, you're describing a sex club in North Tampa. Go on.
So I started watching 3 different Burning Man shows. One was called The Meaning of Life Burning Man. And I really recommend it because I feel like of the ones I watched, it really gave a sense of if this would maybe be something for you, because like most people, when you hear about it, you're like, oh, orgy, sex, naked people, and it sounds like it's out of control. It actually does have boundaries. They have their own police there, but the idea of the openness of it all, where being naked loses its sexuality after a while, and it becomes more of a natural thing because there's so much of it, and there are people being naked not being sexual, right? They're just having the freedom of being naked. And I like the idea of watching the art. These people come here to promote art, to talk about, and the reason this is called The Meaning of Life is they had a room where they recorded people, and people would go in, and clearly some people were using drugs, which I don't have a problem with it. If you're smoking pot or doing mushrooms and it makes you open your mind, I don't have a problem with it. You're not hurting anybody. And they would ask them what the meaning of life was. And it was fascinating to hear, because as much as we hear the cliche of the meaning of life, Tom, how often do you think about what is the meaning of my life, honestly?
Occasionally, but not every day, for sure.
Not every day. I think we've all, as a planet, have thought of it more because of the pandemic, and we're being forced in. When I say forced, we're having to stay inside for safety reasons, and so we're all watching the world in a bigger way. So watching Burning Man, The Meaning of Life, helped me recognize I think I should go. I think that it's safer than what I thought it was.
Why
initially.
not? I just kid, but yes, why not? Why not do anything you want to try to do?
Yes, and there were people that were interviewed that said, you know what? I went, I'll probably never go again.
Yeah.
Something like 50,000 people go. They create their own universe in a matter of a week's time. And definitely not being able to clean up and take a shower would bother me, but knowing in my mind that it's just a week, I think I could do, because they have different areas of, like, this area really focuses on meditation. This area focuses on taking mushrooms. This area focuses on working on metal art. And the great thing about Burning Man is the last day they make a giant, structure, they burn it down, and everything is cleaned up. They leave the earth the way they found it. Nothing is left behind. Everything is cleaned up, which I think is really important for people to understand, that the whole idea is not only can you go and be naked, but you're going to go, you're going to learn some stuff, and you're going to leave the earth the way that you found it, which I love.
Amen to that.
Would you go to Burning Man?
You know what? I in the back of my mind is I feel like I've missed the window, not just age-wise, but it seems like it's too commercialized to me.
Oh.
That's just to me. I'd rather be on, I'm sure people go, oh, it's not like it was back when back in 97.
I suggest you watch these videos. It's very informative as far as kind of what really does go on there, because we've all heard the stories, right? We've seen random videos, but have you ever really watched from start to finish? They talk to the builders, the people that are in charge, the people that get the permits. They talk about the logistics of what it takes to create Burning Man, and I found it really fascinating.
Yeah, well, that might be interesting for me to watch that and maybe change my mind a little bit.
Burning Man, The Meaning of Life. It was a very interesting streaming show that I wouldn't have honestly watched any other time in my life, Tom. I don't usually have the kind of time where I can just, I'll just watch anything just to watch anything.
Yeah,
usually
there's an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm usually busy with life. So I really recommend it. And now my goal is I know people that go. I think I would need to go with people that go, so I wouldn't just go by myself or without a group of people that hadn't gone previously, because there are things you need to know to kind of survive Burning Man.
You don't want to walk in the wrong tent.
I don't want to just walk around randomly by myself. While I do think it's safe, of course, like any other community, they do have issues where people, are inappropriate or get out of control. But I like the idea that they have their own policing, and they have their own hospital. They have doctor, they've got I didn't realize any of those things. And that does make me feel better. And I'm not as interested in the drugs. Like I've never tried mushrooms. I actually had this conversation with my daughter yesterday. I've never tried mushrooms. I'm not opposed to mushrooms, but from what I understand, they're a hallucinogenic and I have real control issues. And I don't know that I'd feel comfortable being in a new environment hallucinating. I think it would actually bother me a lot.
Somebody gave me a mushroom a couple weeks back.
And what did they say about it? Did they?
I said, should I take this with someone? No, take it all the way yourself. I go, well, I don't want to be on something myself. I've not taken it. I don't think about it. It's not that in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd want to take a hallucinogenic by myself, just in case, to, I don't know, have a little bit of support.
I don't like to go to the movies by myself. Why would I want to do that?
I do like to go to the movies by myself. I've done it many, many times. So I am promoting Burning Man, and I'm promoting watching streaming shows that will give you information about things that maybe I was a little scared about it. It was that part of me that thought, I really want to go, but I'm actually afraid of the lack of control, of being safe,
Right. May I end the show on a crazy topic?
Yes.
I need a ruling on this. All right.
Okay.
About 6 weeks ago, I had a 9-year-old visitor at the ranch. Right?
Okay.
With his mom.
Yes.
We had popcorn, right?
Yes.
He had popcorn. He had his own bowl of popcorn on the couch, right?
Yes.
4 weeks later, he comes back, settling into the couch, and he's complaining about my housekeeping as he's found popcorn in the seat cushions where he was sitting.
Yes.
I'm saying you can't complain about the popcorn you left behind on my couch. You can't call me a bad housekeeper because you left that popcorn there, young man.
So the ruling is, are you a bad housekeeper, or is this kid?
You can't make a complaint about a situation that you generated.
I'm going to have to agree with that. And as much as being a mom, having kids, I love kids, but I also can't deal with any back talk. And to me, my blood pressure went up a second because it felt like back talk to me, and I don't do well with that. So
yeah, it wasn't back talk, but he was serious about complaining about my tidiness.
Tom, as a 9-year-old boy, would you have ever said that to an adult? That's why it feels like back talk to me.
Yeah, adult never heard my voice outside of school.
No, we didn't have opinions. We didn't have opinions with our parents. You were not allowed. Opinions were not allowed. So if a 9-year-old were to
I'll tell you when you've got something to say.
I would not have done. I'm not saying it's right. I wouldn't have done well with it. And I think as a 9-year-old, everybody has learning to do. And if a 9-year-old would have questioned my anything in life, I would have lost my shit.
As an adult, I was able to absorb what he was saying.
Okay.
I didn't take it personally.
Okay.
I was able to put it in a little compartment. And after I stopped beating him, then I was able to calmly,
That's right.
Get out.
No, what did you say to him that you felt, that it was handled?
I said, you got to be kidding me. That's your popcorn. I should be yelling at you.
Did he handle the response?
He was confused. I think he was used to getting his way a little bit.
Yeah. Any 9-year-old that's going to
take a 9-year-old easy.
Listen, any 9-year-old that's going to question an adult that's not their parent, I'm going to guess there's a little bit of like, he's been told that he has the right to question adults.
Yeah. Only child. So.
Oh, yeah. No, that's just me. I'm not saying that's the right answer, but I have zero tolerance for.
But he's a good kid though.
I'm sure he is. But in that particular instance, I'm going to have to tell him to get off his little high horse and clean up the mess and keep his opinions to himself.
Wow. The old trifecta. Boom, horse. Boom, mess. Self.
I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm saying that's my response.
Nice. Any plans for the weekend except for sitting in the window looking at life go by, or the occasional street cleaner?
Yes, we actually are going to go. We were planning on very safely going to Central Park, as we were hearing that the leaves are quite lovely in Central Park right now. We're still our numbers have gone up, so we probably won't get out of the car, but that's okay. We're going to drive around and look. If there's a safe spot, then maybe we will, but we're still kind of.
Of course.
a little stressed about the numbers here in New York. What about you? What are you doing this weekend?
I'm on 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Running out of time.
Your binoculars. HSN, 7 a.m. tomorrow.
I am. I don't know exactly what time it is. Probably 7:20 or whatever it is. But I'll be on for 11 minutes. So
if I'm awake, I will watch you on live stream. People don't realize they can go to hsn.com or qvc.com and watch the shows live.
It's very exciting. I'll probably be wearing the same shirt.
Very exciting.
And then, Borat comes out tonight.
Yes.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Did you hear about Rudy Giuliani playing with himself in the hotel room? That's the only reason I would watch. I don't like Borat or any of the Borat things, but I will watch that because
any of the Borat things. There's been one.
Well, I guess then that would be the Borat thing I'm talking about. Someone told me to watch it. I went to the movies. And
you never watched Borat?
I did. I went to the movies because someone recommended it. I was like, well, this is not at all what I enjoy.
Wow. I thought my brothers and I watched it in a hotel room in Las Vegas, between gambling sessions.
Sure.
Funniest thing we have ever seen in our lives.
It's a guy movie. For sure it's a guy movie. I'm not saying don't watch it, but I will watch this one because when I heard Giuliani went to a hotel room, didn't realize what was going on, and literally put his hand in his pants. And this is what women put up with, and men think we make shit up all the time. He was
tucking his shirt in, okay?
Okay, yeah. Because we all do that in the dick area when there's a lady around. We all do it. It's so normal.
That ought to be interesting. I think I'm watching it Monday night.
Yeah, so great. All right, so 7-ish, 7:20-ish tomorrow on hsn.com.
Yeah, it'll be on hsn.com somewhere. But anyway, it is what it is. Thanks for watching today and unpacking some shit with the lovely Madeline McKinsey and myself.
And Tom Wise.
Yeah, that's another one in the can. And where's the end button? Here we go. Have a great weekend.